Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? Another day in the books. We're going to recap our day here in a second. But I got to share something with you real quick. And it's very important, especially for you guys that are just starting. Because, I found myself in this same situation. But sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do in order to get what you want to get. And what I mean is, in trading, I wanted to put my money in a brokerage account, watch a couple of videos on how to trade, and then go out and make money. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be that easy. I didn't want to have to buy a course. I didn't want to have to, join a community. I didn't want to have to spend money on mentoring. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But in order for me to get to where I wanted to get to, I had to do that. I had to invest in that. I had to put in the time. I had to put in that sweat equity. I looked at, what was that thing called? Stock Horizon one time. I bought that because I was looking for something to tell me when to get in the trade and when to get out. I didn't want to put in the time to learn this strategy. But there's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. So you're going to have to do some of the things that you really didn't want to do, that you feel that you may not have time to do. But if you want to get to that next level, you're going to have to do it. If not, if you keep shortchanging yourself, you're going to keep losing all your damn money. And you're going to leave this industry with a bad taste in your mouth. And then you're going to start doubting everybody that says they're making it. I went through that cycle. I remember, 2 months in, I'm like, there's no way in hell anybody's doing this for real. That was the doubt I had. But I realized I'm sitting here trying to find shortcuts. I'm trying to find that one stock that I can put, one penny stock that I can put 5,000 shares in, and it gained $10 overnight, and I'm good. That just wasn't going to happen. Now, yeah, it does happen sometimes. We do get those stocks that run. People get lucky, find themselves in it. But if they never learn how to trade, if they never put in that equity, and they never put that time in, by the time they find that next one, they're going to be broke. Or before that next one even comes, they're going to be broke because they really didn't know what they were doing. So, guys, I don't care who you follow. Doesn't matter whether you follow me. Doesn't matter whether you're in my community or if you're in Investors Underground, if you're in Bulls on Wall Street, if you're in Warrior Trading. Doesn't matter. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that equity. And sometimes you're going to have to do things that you really don't want to do to get to where you want to get to. I didn't want to have to wait 2 years in order to get out of my job. I was ready to go when I first started learning how to trade. But it took 2 years. Because, and what I want all of you guys to understand, what I try to get everybody to understand that I work with, that I mentor, is that, it's too easy for me to say you have to crawl before you can walk. Some people get up and start walking. And even fewer people just stand up and start running. But before you know it, they're going to fall. And those are the ones that's going to fall harder. And anything, you think back, anything significant in your life, it took time to learn. Anything that you learned that was of significance took time to learn. You had to learn how to walk. You had to learn without falling. You had to learn how to talk. You had to learn how to write. You had to learn how to read. There was a process to all of that. When you got into the industry that you're into now, the job, whatever job you're working, how long did it take you to master to where you can really start making a living? You know, think about that. Trading is no different. People think it's a quick way to make money, but you got to pay your dues. And if you don't do it, it's not going to happen for you. You know, I'm not the type guy that's going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and try to paint these rosy pictures. You know, you see me trade live every day. You see me make mistakes. You see me get pissed off. You may hear something fall down accidentally. You know, but that's reality. That's the real deal. That's what you're going to have to deal with every day. And it's how you respond to that. And the reason why I do and I put myself out there is because you need to know how to respond when something like that happens. When everything just crushes you, how are you going to respond? What's the right way? You know, and I'm trying to be that model. I may not be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But at least you have an idea of what it takes. So just, you know, think about that moving forward. All right, so let's take a look at today. You know, here's our one day trade and done. You know, we are working on just taking one trade a day, win, lose, or draw. And what we're trying to do is build consistency. If we are consistent with taking one trade, win, lose, or draw, sticking to our plan, you know, doing everything that we have laid out to do. You know, we're executing it, you know, accurately. The trades, we can't predict the market and we can't control the market, but we can control our actions. But we should be able to. If we can't, we shouldn't be trading. But we should be able to control our actions and follow the plan that we have in place. And that's why I'm going through this. You know, yeah, I'm trading. I'm still doing my other trading. I'm not relying on this small account to make a living. You know, I'm teaching you. I'm showing you how you can make extra money. You know, we make a couple grand a month just trading real small. Just trading tiny, minuscule. You know, so, but you're not going to stay there. You're going to grow. You're going to outgrow me. You're going to outgrow the community. You're going to branch out. That's what I want to see. And, you know, but you have to start slow and small and develop the skills that's going to help you survive when you hit those rough waters. And, you know, that's what it's all about. But today we had a nice opening range breakout. Now here, I was looking long on this trade all along. But you can see coming into the open, we put in a lower high. And, you know, here's the candle at the open. So this could have been a real good bait candle. When you see a stock put in an indecision candle like this, you got the wick pretty much equal to the top and bottom, and it's double the size of the body. You know you need to sit on your hands and wait, because this is probably not going to do what you want it to do. Here's another fake out. Look at the VWAP here, this purple line, how it's shooting down. Okay, the volume weighted average price. This is based on volume and price. That's how this is calculated. So you could think, okay, hey, I'm going to get short here. But here's the 50-day right here. This has been king. Nothing has been able to get through the 50 without a fight. So no way I'm taking this short. Even though it looks like it, and it looks like we may be going short, no way I'm taking it. We had the 50 here. This was the opening range low. Then we had the 100 and the 200 sitting here. No way. So this candle turned around and opened. You know, before I had any type experience trading this strategy, as soon as this broke, I would have jumped in. Because I'm looking at the VWAP heading down. I'm like, yeah, we below the 50. I'd have jumped right in this thing. But this is where experience and taking, you know, one trade a day and saying, hey, I'm not going to take this risk. I'm going to wait until I know this is right. And so we turned around, we bounced, and now we started making the move that we were looking for out of the gate. Once we broke the opening range high and we got, you know, just over this last bounce, this was a good, you know, good risk reward trade. And so we got in it, got to our first target just over 112, and I was trying to get 113 out of this. I think the next resistance was up around, you know, through 114. So I was looking to get 113 at least on this next cover, but we couldn't. This candle just couldn't get there. It tried several times and got into the 90s. It just couldn't do it. And so when it gave up, that's when I took the rest of it off. I wasn't going to let it pull all the way back and stop me out. Had we pulled back and bounced and we started showing some strength, like we were going to push back over, I would have got in for the 113 break, you know, looking for 114, you know, if I was going to be taking another trade. But I wasn't trading anymore after this. We're just taking one trade and we're done. And so everything worked out pretty good. And you see, we could not get back up over this. And we kind of gave up. Came right back to the 50, which just happened to be around the opening range high. And we bounced here and kind of ran back up. But it wasn't real clean. But, you know, that was it. That's all we need. You know, if we do this every day, if this fails, we stop out. Call it a day. We shouldn't lose any more than between $50 and $60. If you looked at the last week in June, I had 3 days where I stopped out. You know, $50 was my max loss. I stopped out. It was a little over $50 because of commissions and stuff like that. So, but we did it. Now, I could have kept forcing the issue, and that $50 loss could have turned into $300, and I could have three $300 loss days. That would have wiped out the money I made that month. So this is why it's important to trade this way. Learn how to know you're not going to stay here. You're not. You're gonna get better. You're gonna grow from this. I grew from this. You know, and I was making very good money just trading, starting every month with $5,000 in my Sure Trader account. You know, that's all well documented. I didn't go back and make this stuff up. It's on my blog. It's been there since I wrote it. And, you know, everything that I did and how I grew, increased position size. Hell, I didn't even scale out back then. And so, you know, I actually have gotten, you know, better over the years where I scale out. I make sure I lock in profit. But that's what this is all about, guys. So this morning we tried a all day hold. Okay. And I know before you say anything, let me address the elephant in the room. I took this in my swing account. I made a decision that I need to take these in my swing account because I don't want to monitor this all day. And if I got a swing trade on, I'm not going to monitor it like that. I'm going to set my stop in the morning and I'm going to look at it at lunch. I'm going to look at it in the afternoon. That's kind of what I want to do with this. So, you know, I'm going to see how this works. I'm just trying to make sure that I stay disciplined in these. Because what can happen is kind of just what happened today. When I got a little ticked off at this. Now, let me show you what I was looking at this morning. Alright, so here is the 5-minute chart. This is this opens up at like 5, started at about 5 o'clock when this thing opened up, and here we put in a high here, and we pull back. Here we tried to push up, couldn't break the high, and this candle was up here, and then we sold all the way off. I went ahead and took it. I thought, hey, this is a good, a good chance. What I didn't pay attention to was the volume. There was no volume here. And the reason why I took this was because yesterday I missed a trade. I missed a killer trade. I was watching it. I even mentioned it. I talked about, this looked like a good setup. I completely did not take it, missed it, did not have confidence in myself for whatever reason, and it didn't happen. So I got in, and you can see it started to work real good. Almost hit my first target here, which was going to be this level, 191.75. Is where I had my first target set. It didn't hit it. We fought all the way back, and I had my stop set at 194, and I was just trying to hang on, but we ended up stopping me out and then making a run up. So obviously I was pissed. I wanted my money back. So I kept stalking this thing, saying I was going to try to get my money back. So at lunch, right around in here, I decided I was going to take it. And I know I was a little late getting back to the room because my for some reason now my laptop tells me I can't log in and chat because I got to enable Flash Player, but Flash Player is on it. But that's a whole another headache. But needless to say, that laptop doesn't exist anymore. But this is what I was looking at. We were starting to come back in, so I got it and was able to cover it down here on my first target. Here was the second target. Actually took 2 trades on this. I got it here, covered it here, got back in because I got out when I had this to switch computers, and when I got back here I got back in, but this was the same move that we were talking about, and hit my targets. And then when we started to reject again at the end of the day, I was saying I'm waiting for it to get below. If it got red on the day, I was going to jump on it. And I did, and held it through the close. Finally got, what was it? After 5 o'clock. Just after 5 when it actually got there. And it took, 2 or 3 minutes for the order to fill. One filled at 191.68, and then it didn't fill again until 191.48. Nobody was trading. Everybody was selling. Nobody was buying my order. But it finally hit, so we got out. But this was revenge trading 101. Is basically what it boiled down to. What I should have done was, when I got stopped out, just kind of walked away from it because of the attitude I had. But this could have very easily bounced and continued pushing up, because it did break. This did break the pre-market high here. But, you know, silly me wanted my money back and ended up getting it back and, you know, making $682 in the process. But how I find these, you know, how I set the scan up, because Thinkorswim starts running as soon as the market starts ticking. So when I get up and I cut this on, this is on an hour to an hour and a half before Trade Ideas even starts populating anything. So I have to find my all-day holds. I typically find early. I'm looking for stocks that, you know, are having some volume, is, you know, gapping. And, you know, in the class, I'm going to show you exactly how to find them. Excuse me, how I find these. You know, and Thinkorswim is free. It's a free platform. So you don't have to pay anything for it. You know, and it works great. That's what I look at early, before Trade Ideas even starts kicking in. So a lot of times I can identify stocks before they even hit my scan. But that's what it's all about. So we'll be sharing that with you, you know, plus some of the little idiosyncrasies that, you know, make up this strategy. Now, here's why I took the trade this morning. Okay, this is bye-bye yesterday. This is the trade I said I completely missed. Here's, you know, this is around 4 o'clock when it opened up. We put in a high up here. It couldn't break this ceiling. We had a pullback. It tried to push up. It couldn't do it. I wasn't going to short it into the 50. I would have shorted it under the 50 because I have not as much respect for the 100. But theoretically, you could have got short up in here. It's going to bounce. You know you're going to get some type of bounce. If the stock, you know, bounced up or gapped up overnight, you're going to get some profit taking at the open. You know that. So beforehand, we're going to have people gearing up. Then the profit taking starts at the open. We had a little recovery, but still trending down. This was a beautiful move. It would have hit the first target around 190, 150. It would have bounced up, but would not have taken me out. And it would have hit my second target. And if not, you know, it still would have made some good profit. But I was mad about missing this trade yesterday. And that's what caused me to jump all over this. And maybe not make the best of decisions. You know, but we brought it home. So that's what it's all about. Since my swing trade is up here, we'll look at it. Where is my chart? Gotta find my chart. Hold on one second, guys. I know I had it up here. Alright, let's go back to, let's do a daily chart. And that's bye-bye. So look how bad Facebook is looking. Alright. I got in on this candle because, you know, here was the previous 52-week high right here. Here was the previous 52-week high right here. And, you know, this candle got in up over it. So I'm like, hey, this is, you know, this is good. It's what I was looking for. So that's why I got in this on Monday. But we didn't get the breakout. I felt we would get the breakout because, you know, here we were within 2 weeks of making a 52-week high, pulling back, trading below the 20, and then coming back across it. We should have had an explosive breakout over the 52-week high, but we didn't. It's pulling back again. I don't think I'm gonna have the wherewithal to hold through this pullback. I think I'm gonna have to get out, and if we do the 20 again, I'll be able to get back in and ride the 20 up. And see, I had my stop was at 202 today, but it dipped below 202 aftermarket, which is not going to hit my stop. But you know, this trade isn't looking good. It's the only swing trade that I took, and really, with everything behind Facebook, I really thought this was gonna do something, but I was wrong on it. So just gonna may have to end up biting a bullet on this and wait and see if it sets back up. You know, I can't do what I did on PLNT. You know, this has too much in it. I'll be down way too much to be comfortable on this, to try to hold it to the 20. I just can't do it. Alright, so that's going to do it for me today. That's all she wrote. So we'll get back at this tomorrow. Remember, guys, we are starting the all-day hold class. It's only a handful of classes. It's a simple strategy, but it's a little bit more risky, and you have to be okay with giving the stock a little bit of room and not micromanaging it, because everybody that micromanages these lose money and they get pissed at me. But I tell them, look, you micromanaged it, so it's on you. But we'll be starting that up tomorrow, and we'll continue moving on from there. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will see you guys on the other side.